It's an irresponsible thing to say, but the problem with smoking is that it's kind of amazing. But if we're going to talk about it, we need to be honest. Smoking creates an instant solution to temporary problems. If you're feeling nervous and stressed, a puff will make you feel much better. One of the issues is that your brain gets used to the nicotine. Smoking helps you concentrate on work and is a tool against boredom. It suppresses your appetite, makes bad moments seem less bad, and good moments even better. Now that we've given an honest introduction to smoking, let's take you on a virtual puff and see why it makes you feel so good and what exactly happens inside your body when you smoke. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the Brugger Filmies channel, leave a like, and of course, share our productions with your friends. Let's get started. A cigarette is made from dried tobacco leaves mixed with chemicals that make it burn slowly, helping you absorb the nicotine. Flavors and aromas are added to make the smoke less harsh. Cigarette smoke is composed of 95% gases like carbon dioxide and water vapor. The remaining 5% are particles called tar, and these contain the magic ingredient, carbon and nitrogen compounds filled with nicotine. When you take a puff, billions of particles enter your body and interact with everything they encounter, getting trapped in your throat, tongue, and trachea. Your lungs are like large inflatable sponges with alveoli, which are tiny air sacs where your breathing actually happens. They have very thin walls so that oxygen can be transferred to your blood and carbon dioxide can be expelled, and this is where the magic happens. The nicotine passes through the thin walls and enters your bloodstream, reaching your brain so quickly that the feeling of well-being is instantaneous. If your brain had a control panel, smoking would be like pressing all the buttons at once, releasing many neurotransmitters and hormones that affect your entire body. Epinephrine and cortisol make your heart beat faster, preparing your body for action. Dopamine makes you feel happy and relaxed while reducing your appetite. Beta endorphins reduce pain and stress. And nicotine both excites and calms you at the same time. You become more alert and able to concentrate. Your nerves become more sensitive to pleasant sensations, so your entire body relaxes. Together, all these effects simply make you feel great. But your brain immediately tries to return to its normal state and fights against the effects of nicotine. That's the point. You'll always need it just to feel normal. If that were all smoking did, well, that would be kind of okay. But nicotine comes with thousands of different chemical companions. Cadmium, lead, arsenic, and cyanide, along with hydrogen peroxide and nitrogen oxides, cause damage wherever they go. Carbon monoxide reduces the amount of oxygen your blood can carry. In your lungs, your ciliary cells fight. It's hard to push through the tar-clogged mucus, and some of your ciliary cells die. Your alveoli are super sensitive and can't handle this kind of stress. Some of your tiny air sacs burst like balloons, causing irreparable damage. Your body needs to get rid of all this tar immediately. The goblet cells pump out extra mucus to compensate, making breathing harder, so you start coughing to expel the tar and mucus. Your immune system is activated and macrophages begin to eat tar particles. Smokers have many more of these cleaning cells because their lungs are always filled with dirt. But nicotine makes the macrophages slow and inefficient. Worse, they vomit chemicals that dissolve lung tissue and cause small wounds that turn into scars. Scars in your lungs are bad if you like to breathe. Nicotine increases your heart rate, causing all your blood vessels to contract. Toxic chemicals get trapped in the blood vessels, causing countless small wounds throughout your body. These scars leak proteins that create random blood clots, making your blood vessels even narrower. and obstructed vessels put a lot of stress on your heart muscle, which has to work much harder to keep the blood flowing. Inside your skin, chemicals trigger enzymes that break down collagen, the protein that makes your skin elastic and smooth. This creates folds and wrinkles. Your skin ages much faster and you look older sooner. But perhaps the worst thing is what happens to your immune system. All over your body, it reacts to small wounds and activates, fighting against an invisible enemy and consequently damaging healthy cells. Meanwhile, nicotine makes it slow and inefficient. Your immune system gets worse at fighting real diseases. In summary, each of your organs is highly stressed and suffers some form of permanent damage. Over time, fats get trapped in the scars inside the blood vessels, which become narrower and narrower until they begin to suffocate your organs. Your overloaded heart beats even harder to push the blood through the extra resistance, and your blood pressure increases so much that fluids leak from the blood vessels into your lungs, making breathing even more difficult. The likelihood of a blood clot blocking a critical passage in the body increases enormously, which can eventually cause a heart attack or stroke. Almost all smokers eventually develop chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And you are always out of breath because your alveoli are irreversibly destroyed. Once you destroy your respiratory system, things only tend to get worse. It will never be the same as before. Finally, cancer arrives. But what happened? My dear, this is where you get a kind of double blow. On one hand, you flooded your entire system, especially your lungs, with at least 70 highly carcinogenic chemicals, and on the other hand, you caused the paralysis of part of your immune system, which was your only defense made to kill and prevent cancer. That's why cancer is so likely in smokers. Ultimately, among all the things you are legally allowed to do, smoking is singularly the most dangerous. Smokers lose an average of 10 years of their lives. This means that some lose about 4 years and others up to 25 years. You don't know which one you will be, but it cuts your healthy life expectancy. Even if you live a lot, it is possible that you will have to live with some chronic disease. So, why don't smokers just quit smoking? Smokers are often seen as uncontrolled or undisciplined, which is unfair. Nicotine is one of the most physically and psychologically addictive substances known to mankind. If you start using it, you will likely struggle with it for the rest of your life. The physical addiction lasts about 3 days, but the psychological addiction is much harder to overcome because you form strong habits and are connected to many social signals, like going out with friends or relaxing after work. The tobacco industry needs to recruit vulnerable brains and addict them to the pleasurable effects of nicotine. Today, about 1 billion people will light a cigarette, which is a lot, but at least the trends are positive. In 2000, 34% of adults smoked. In 2020, it was only 23%. Still, in 2023, about 8 million people died from the harms caused by cigarettes. But not all is despair. There are many successful strategies to quit smoking. People who quit smoking by the age of 35 on average do not die earlier than non-smokers. If you are older than that, quitting smoking can add years to your life. Now tell us, have you ever tried to quit smoking? Share your experience, whether you succeeded or not in quitting smoking, and what was your strategy. Send this video to a friend who smokes or is thinking about smoking. Perhaps you can change someone's life by sharing this video. The Brugger Filmers channel loves to bring these controversial explanations. Smoking really only solves a temporary problem, but ends up creating many permanent problems. My friends, don't leave without leaving your like or confirming your subscription to the channel. We appreciate it. See you in the next production. Until then.